the first question that I got for you, Varela, how do you got your job?
So I got my job by connecting with a previous teacher that I had. I always wanted to be a physical education teacher. So when I saw the position available while I was working at a different school, I applied, of course, for the position, but I also contacted people that I knew from the past to help me connect with the person who was hiring. So that shows like how important it is to know people because that always helps when it comes to getting hired. Besides being certified and having everything that you need. So
What type of education or training do you need to obtain your job? Like, what kind of education you got to do your job?
yeah, so to be a physical education teacher, you need at least a bachelor's degree, which is a 4-year degree. The major doesn't really matter. You could major in physical education if you want, or you could have a different major. The most important thing is that you have to pass the MTELs. The MTELs are requirements, for every teacher in Massachusetts. And I think like any state in the United States, you have to pass those tests. You have to pass whatever subject that you're teaching. So in my situation as the physical education MTEL, I had to pass that. And you also have to pass the communication and literacy MTELs. So it's basically a total of three MTELs that you have to pass. You have to
Okay.
pass those. You have to have a good reputation, and it helps to be bilingual. In Boston, it helps to be bilingual. The fact that I speak different languages, I think it definitely helps. Makes me so.
And yeah.
So,
So, what is your biggest challenge in your job?
biggest challenge. So, biggest challenge I think is you know helping everybody feel motivated to participate. A lot of times, our students, especially, our students work a lot. They have jobs. They work long hours. So we have days where they show up in class and they are tired. They are tired, and they don't want to move a lot. So it's my job to help motivate them and push them to participate. So that can be a challenge sometimes.
And yeah,
But for the most part, our kids are they're very interested in class. So you know,
which is good. So,
absolutely.
question number four: what was the most impactful experience you ever have in your job?
Impact. So being a gym teacher is kind of like being a coach. You motivate students, you help students understand that they have a lot of potential, not just physically, but like, mentally and achieving things in life in general. Because exercise and, sports and exercise and real life is all related, finding the strength to being able to perform like certain exercises and pushing yourself to the limit and pushing yourself to achieve something, to complete something, is all related to life lessons. So, me having this job, I feel like I help a lot of students understand that, understanding their potential and overcoming obstacles and things like that. So I think that's very rewarding and that's a good part of my job.
Yeah. So, question number five: can you tell me about a time that you failed at your job and how do you manage?
Can you repeat the question?
Like, can you tell me about like one time you feel like you fail at your job and how do you manage? Like, how do you handle it?
To be honest, I don't feel like I fail a lot at the job. Part of it is because I have a lot of experience on at what I do. But maybe in the beginning, when I first became a physical education teacher, maybe I went through a day where, the lesson wasn't planned well, the activities wasn't planned well.
Uh,
So when kids come in, if I don't understand a certain activity, how can I teach if I don't understand it myself? So I think I went through that like in the beginning. There was an activity that I planned out, but I wasn't fully sure how to do it. So if a teacher doesn't know how to do it, imagine the students. So I think that was an example.
It's gonna be
you know.
hard.
So
So yeah. So the last question: what is an advice that you give to a college student who wants to be like a gym teacher, like physical gym teacher?
my advice would be to, first of all, make sure you practice what you preach. By practice what you preach, I mean, if you want to be a gym teacher, make sure you also, you like fitness. Make sure you like what you do. Make sure you exercise yourself. And just make sure you know what you're teaching the kids. Because if you don't know, if you don't have a passion for what you're doing, then the kids kind of sense that and they don't really buy into that. But if they see like, oh, this guy enjoys what he's doing, then they really buy into that. So just make sure you enjoy what you do your research, be prepared, and just enjoy the job. You have to be able to enjoy the job and like what you do. So
Thank you, thank you. That was it, Varela.
all right, very
Thank
good.
you for your
Nice.
attention, brother. Thank you for
Okay,
your
take
time.
Edgar Varela is a high school gym teacher. He's a soccer player and he's also a football, soccer, and softball coach. And he's also a real estate agent. I don't want to be like just like him, but I want to be involved in college sport and also be involved with pros athletes. Be involved in college sport, probably like softball and baseball, soccer, be involved with all the sport in college. And something that I learned through this project is that you need to be persistent, also have a lot of patience, and never give up until you make it. And always stay positive, motivated to make things happen. Just like I did with this project, and I was starting to feel disappointed because I was looking for people, and people were telling me, yeah, let's gonna do it. And they just didn't show up. And I didn't get tired until I got what I wanted. And I also want to thank Professor Helen for being able to keep us working hard and giving us a lesson so we can develop our speech in person, also in cameras. Like this is my first interview, and I know that I can do better next time. And he also was my high school teacher. And when I used to play baseball, because I played baseball, soccer, and basketball. But my favorite one is basketball. So when I got into high school, I was like probably like 14, and he was the first guy that I met. Like he was the only one who speaks Spanish. And when I got to high school, right, I didn't speak no English at all. And he was the one who always was like helping me, like on top of me. Every time I was in his class, he just was telling me like, oh, he was telling me like little words like, oh, this is how you pronounce this. This how do you say that. And I also like appreciate him a lot because he be teaching me a lot, and he gives me a lot of advices, which is good. If I don't know something, I just I used to ask him like, oh, what about this? What about that? And he also used to help me to do all my homeworks. Like the one that I didn't know, he used to help me do those. And he's really he really motivates me to be a better person, to be grateful, and also be like. And with him, I also learned how to help a lot of people